I found my husband's burner phone while hiding from him in our bathroom. I was sitting on the bathroom floor, blood dripping from my split lip onto my pajama shirt. Jake had just hit me because I asked why he came home at 2 a.m. again. My mouth throbbed. I could taste copper on my tongue. Then I heard it, a phone buzzing from the living room. Not my phone, not Jake's phone on the coffee table. The sound was muffled, coming from under something. I pressed my ear against the bathroom door. Jake was snoring on the couch. 8 Corona bottles lined the coffee table like soldiers. I opened the door slowly, avoiding the squeaky spot near the hinge. The buzzing stopped, then started again. It was coming from under the couch cushions. Jake's leg twitched. I froze. His breathing stayed heavy. I crawled across the carpet, reached under the cushion where he always sat, and felt plastic. A Samsung. Old model. The kind drug dealers use in movies. The screen lit up. Tony, still need that 11K. 2 weeks max. My hands shook as I tried to unlock it. Password protected. I tried his birthday. Nothing. Our anniversary. Number. Then I typed 0823, Emily's birthday. The phone opened. WhatsApp showed 47 unread messages. I clicked the most recent thread. Lost another 3K tonight. Does your wife know yet? Jake, you there? Answer your fucking phone. My stomach dropped. I scrolled up. The messages went back months. Poker games, sports betting, something called collections. I clicked on Venmo. 5 transactions this month alone. $1,500 here, $2,000 there, another $1,500, then $2,500. Finally, $1,000. All from our joint checking. The account we were using to save for Emily's preschool. $8,500. Gone. I kept scrolling. January 15th. First message about a game. January 18th, Jake shoved me into the kitchen counter because I asked about a bank withdrawal. January 28th, I lost my job. My boss said Jake called 3 times saying I was mentally unstable and shouldn't be working while pregnant. February 14th, Valentine's Day, Jake punched me in the stomach for the first time, right after I told him about the baby. Every Tuesday and Friday he had overtime. Every Tuesday and Friday these messages said, poker tonight at Tony's. The nights he came home drunk and angry. The nights Emily wet her bed. $14,000, 10 weeks, our entire emergency fund plus half our savings. A new message popped up. My blood went cold. Jake, we're not patient people. An attachment downloaded. A photo of me walking Emily into daycare this morning, taken from inside a car. I could see our reflection in the side mirror. Another photo loaded. My mother's house. Her address visible on the mailbox. Your wife's pretty. Could be useful. Your kid too. The group chat was called Collections. 4 members including Jake. I screenshot everything, my fingers fumbling with the buttons. More messages kept coming. 2 weeks, Jake. After that, we get creative. We know where everyone lives. Jake coughed. The phone slipped from my hand, hitting the carpet with a soft thud. He shifted on the couch, mumbled something. I grabbed the phone and shoved it back under the cushion. My heart hammered so hard I thought he'd hear it. His eyes opened. What are you doing out here? I pressed my hand against my split lip. Getting ice. Bullshit. You were snooping. No, I was just... Get back in the bathroom. His voice was flat. Dangerous. Emily started crying upstairs. That high-pitched wail she did when she had nightmares about monsters. Except the monster was down here, rubbing his eyes and sitting up. I said, get back in the bathroom. I backed away slowly. Emily needs me. Emily's fine. You need to learn to mind your own fucking business. He stood up, swayed, caught himself on the arm of the couch. The cushion shifted, and I saw the phone's edge peeking out. He hadn't noticed. Yet. Please, Jake. She's scared. Like I give a shit. He took a step toward me. Emily's crying got louder. Mommy! Mommy! I turned and ran up the stairs. Jake didn't follow. I heard him collapse back onto the couch, muttering about fucking dramatic bitches. I scooped Emily up, her small body shaking against mine. It's okay, baby. Mommy's here. But it wasn't okay. I was 4 months pregnant. My husband owed dangerous people $11,000. They knew where we lived, where my mother lived, where my daughter went to school. And Jake thought I didn't know anything. Emily pressed her face into my neck. Daddy's scary. I know, baby. I rocked her, staring at the wall, my mind racing. But Mommy's going to fix it. I didn't know how. I had no money of my own, no job, no car keys. Jake kept those. No phone during the day. He took it to save battery. But those men in the group chat weren't going away. 2 weeks, they said. 2 weeks to figure out how to save my daughter from whatever Jake had gotten us into. The next morning I stood at the stove making scrambled eggs. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. The spatula kept hitting the pan's edge with tiny metal clinks. Jake sat at the kitchen table behind me, scrolling through his phone. His real phone. The one everyone knew about. You got up a lot last night. His voice was flat. I kept stirring the eggs. The baby was kicking. Bullshit. I heard you in the living room. My stomach clenched. I got water. The baby makes me thirsty. He stood up, walked over, took my phone from the counter. Password. Jake, come on. Password. 4578. He unlocked it and started reading. Text messages first, then call history, then emails, opening every single one, scrolling through conversations with my mom, my sister, the daycare. His thumb moved methodically, checking everything. Emily appeared in the doorway clutching her stuffed rabbit. She saw Jake and froze. Morning, baby. Want some eggs? I tried to keep my voice normal. She didn't move, just stared at Jake. Come sit down, I said. She took 1 step forward. Jake looked up from my phone. What's wrong with her? She just woke up. Emily, come here. She didn't move. I said come here. Emily's lower lip started trembling. I don't want to. Jake slammed my phone on the counter. The crack echoed through the kitchen. What did you just say? Jake, she's 3. Shut up. He walked toward Emily. She backed against the wall. You don't want to? Since when do you get to want anything? I'm scared, Emily whispered. He grabbed the rabbit from her hands and threw it across the room. Emily shrieked, that high, terrified sound that made my chest hurt. Jake, stop, please! He spun around. This is your fault! Teaching her to disrespect me. Emily ran to me, wrapped her arms around my legs, sobbing into my pajama pants. Jake kicked a chair. It crashed into the wall. A piece of wood splintered off. Both of you are fucking useless, he said. Then he grabbed his keys and wallet. I'm going to work. The front door slammed. Emily was still crying, her whole body shaking. I knelt down and held her. It's okay. Daddy's gone. I hate him, she whispered into my shoulder. I couldn't tell her she was wrong. At 11 o'clock, I checked Jake's location on Find My iPhone. He'd never removed me from his account. Probably forgot I knew how to use it. The dot showed him at Murphy's Bar on 10th Street. Not at work. Of course not. I carried Emily next door to Mrs. Chen's house. She answered in her housecoat, CNN playing in the background. Can I use your phone? Mine's broken. She looked at my swollen lip from last night, at Emily clinging to my hand. Of course, dear. I dialed my sister's number from memory. She picked up on the third ring. Sarah? Whose number is this? It's me. I'm using a neighbor's phone. Listen, I don't have much time. What's wrong? You sound... Jake owes bad people money. $11,000. They're threatening us. Silence. Then, oh my God, are you okay? No, I need help. Can you come get us? I'm in Dallas for work. It's a 6-hour drive. Can you wait until tonight? 6 hours. Jake could be back any minute. I don't know. Go to the police. I can't. Jake will know I found out. I looked at Emily, drawing circles on Mrs. Chen's welcome mat with her finger. He'll hurt us. Then leave right now. Take Emily and go. I don't have car keys. Or money. He controls everything. Jesus Christ, okay. Okay, let me think. Can you get to an ATM? I'll try. I thanked Mrs. Chen and walked to the Wells Fargo 3 blocks away. Emily held my hand, skipping over cracks in the sidewalk. The February air was cold, but I'd forgotten our jackets. At the ATM, I inserted my card, entered my PIN, insufficient funds. I tried our savings account. Access denied. See bank representative. He'd locked me out. Of course he had. I stood there staring at the screen. $14,000 of our money gone, and I couldn't access a penny. Mommy, I'm cold. I know, baby. Let's go. We started walking to Western Union. Maybe Sarah could wire money. A black Civic pulled up beside us, matching our pace. The window rolled down. A man with a neck tattoo smiled at me. You're Jake's wife. It wasn't a question. I picked up Emily and kept walking. Pretty little girl, he said. The car continued crawling beside us. Jake owes us money. You know that? I didn't answer. My heart hammered against Emily's chest. 2 weeks, he said. Tell him Tony says 2 weeks. The car sped off. I stood there holding Emily, my legs shaking so hard I thought I'd fall. She buried her face in my neck. Who was that man? Nobody, baby. Nobody important. But he was. He was the man from Jake's hidden phone, the man who'd taken pictures of us, and now he knew we were alone. I turned around and walked home fast, constantly checking behind us. No black Civic, but that didn't mean they weren't watching. Inside, I locked the door, put the chain on, and pushed a chair against it. Emily watched me with wide eyes. Are we hiding? We're just being safe. But we weren't safe. Jake would come home drunk and angry. Tony's men were watching us. I had no money, no car, no phone during the day, and nowhere to go. I sat on the couch and pulled Emily into my lap. She pressed her small hand against my belly. Is the baby scared too? I kissed the top of her head. Her hair smelled like Johnson's baby shampoo. No, baby. The baby's safe. It was the first lie I'd told her. The baby wasn't safe. None of us were. And I had no idea how to change that. Around 4 p.m., Carol's car pulled into our driveway. Jake's mother. She came by maybe once a month, always unannounced. I watched through the window as she got out carrying a bag from the bakery. Emily ran to the door. Grandma. Carol hugged her, then looked at me, at my face. Her smile disappeared. What happened to your cheek? I touched the swollen side. I fell. Tripped over Emily's toys. Carol stared at me for a long moment. We both knew I was lying. She'd raised Jake. She knew what he was capable of. But she never said anything, never asked directly. Let me see. She reached toward my face. It's fine, really. She lowered her hand, opened the bakery bag. I brought cookies. Emily, why don't you pick one? While Emily dug through the bag, Carol moved closer to me, slipped something into my pocket. Cash. I felt the bills crinkle. Mom needs to rest, she said to Emily. Let's eat cookies in the living room. 20 minutes later, Jake's truck roared into the driveway. He slammed the door so hard the windows shook, saw his mother's car. His face darkened. He walked in without taking off his work boots. Mud tracked across the floor. What are you doing here? Visiting my granddaughter, Carol said. We're busy. Doing what? Beating your wife? The room went silent. Even Emily stopped chewing her cookie. Jake's jaw clenched. Get out. Jake. I said get out of my house. Carol stood up slowly, kissed Emily's forehead. As she passed me, she whispered fast and low. Keep the money. Call if you need help. Then she left. Jake watched her car disappear down the street. Give me your phone, he said. What? Your phone, now. I handed it over. He examined it like evidence. Battery's almost dead. I'll charge it for you. He pocketed it. Then he took my wallet from my purse. Don't need you losing this. The car keys were already in his pocket. Had been for weeks. Jake, I need my phone. What if something happens with Emily? Use the landline. We didn't have a landline. That night after he passed out, I counted Carol's money in the bathroom. $150. Enough for maybe 2 nights in a motel. Not enough to disappear. But I remembered the daycare had a phone. They knew me. They'd seen my bruises before and never asked questions. Maybe they'd let me make a call. The next morning, I dropped Emily at Little Lamb's daycare and lingered by the front desk. Mrs. Patterson was sorting permission slips. Could I use your phone? Mine's dead and I need to call my doctor. She pushed the desk phone toward me without looking up. I dialed the women's shelter number I'd memorized from a poster in the grocery store bathroom. Busy signal. I hung up. Tried again. Busy. Mrs. Patterson glanced at me. I smiled. Doctor's office is always busy. I tried 4 more times over the next 3 days. Each time I dropped Emily off, I'd make an excuse. Pharmacy, insurance company. Finally, on day 3, someone answered. Women's Crisis Center. My voice cracked. I need help. Are you safe right now? For the moment. But my husband. Do you have somewhere to go? No. He controls everything. The money, the car. We can help, but we need documentation. Police reports, medical records, photos of injuries. Do you have any of that? No, he's careful, and the one time the neighbors called the police, they didn't do anything. Start documenting, take photos, keep a journal, hide it somewhere safe. Can you do that? I don't have a phone. Can you get access to one? I'm calling from my daughter's daycare. Silence. Then, is there anyone who can help you? Family? My sister's in Dallas. 6 hours away. What about his family? I thought about Carol's $150. Maybe. Reach out. Build a network. Document everything. Call us back when you can. She gave me a case number. I memorized it. C4471. 2 days later, I was checking Jake's Facebook on Emily's iPad when a message popped up. Not to Jake's account. To mine. I hadn't logged out. From Lisa Brennan. Jake's sister. I know what Jake's doing. It's wrong. Can we talk? I deleted the message immediately. But the next day, another one came. I saw your face at Christmas. And Easter. And Emily's birthday. Please, let me help. I typed back. He checks everything. Meet me at Walmart. Tomorrow. 2 p.m. grocery section. I deleted the conversation. Tomorrow was Tuesday. Jake would be at work, which meant the bar, which meant I had a window. At Walmart, I pushed Emily in the cart past the cereal aisle 3 times before Lisa appeared. She looked nervous, kept checking behind her. I can't stay long, she said. Jake knows my car. Why are you? Because what he's doing is wrong. Because Emily deserves better. Because you're pregnant and She stopped, pulled something from her purse. An old Nokia phone. It's prepaid. Has $20 on it. Camera works, but it's only 2 megapixels. I took it. My hands shook. Hide it good, Lisa said. If he finds it, he won't. She looked at Emily, who was reaching for a box of goldfish crackers. I'm sorry. For not saying something sooner, for letting it get this bad. It's not your fault. It's all our fault. We all knew who Jake was. We just hoped marriage would fix him. She laughed bitterly. Like you could fix someone who's been broken since middle school. A man in a Cowboys jersey walked past. Lisa tensed. I have to go, she said. Be careful. Document everything. When you're ready to leave, call me. She handed me a piece of paper with her number. Memorize this and flush it. Then she was gone. I bought the goldfish crackers and a pregnancy test I didn't need, just to have a receipt. Proof I was here. Shopping. Normal. At home, I hid the Nokia behind the washing machine, the one place Jake would never look. Monday afternoon, 3 p.m. Emily was watching Peppa Pig when the doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. 2 men. One had a neck tattoo, the same guy from the black Civic. My stomach dropped. They knocked harder. Mrs. Jake, open up. We know you're home. Emily looked at me. Who's that, Mommy? Nobody, baby. Keep watching TV. The knocking turned to pounding. We just want to talk about Jake's debt. I cracked the door open, keeping the chain on. He's not here. We know. The tattooed one smiled. That's why we're here now. What do you want? Jake owes us $18,000. He said it casual, like discussing the weather. Payments due in 10 days. I don't know anything about... Sure you don't. The second man, shorter with a gold tooth, leaned against the doorframe. Nice house. Zillow says it's worth about $200,000. My mouth went dry. That's none of your business. Everything's our business when we're owed money. He lit a cigarette, blew smoke through the door crack. 10 days, or we take the house. Emily appeared beside me, grabbing my leg. Mommy, I'm scared. The tattooed man looked down at her and smiled wider. Cute kid. How old? 3? 4? I pulled Emily behind me. You need to leave. Jake should have thought about his family before he started betting money he didn't have. The gold-toothed one flicked his cigarette onto our porch. 10 days. They walked back to their car, not the Civic, a white Camry this time. I memorized the license plate, TXJ4829, then remembered I had nowhere to report it to. I closed the door and knelt down to Emily. She was crying. Those are bad men. They're just confused. They made a mistake. I went to the bedroom closet and dug out the shoebox where I'd hidden money over the months. $520, birthday money from my mom, change from groceries when Jake gave me cash, dollars here and there. I grabbed my wedding ring from the jewelry box. Jake never noticed I stopped wearing it months ago. Maybe I could give them something. Buy time. I ran back to the door, but they were gone. The cigarette butt still smoldered on the porch. I stomped it out, then remembered the Nokia. I pulled the curtain aside slightly and snapped a photo through the window. The Camry was parked across the street. The photo came out dark and grainy. You could barely make out it was a car. 2 hours later, Jake's truck screeched into the driveway. He slammed the door and stormed inside. His nostrils flared. Who was here? What? I smell cigarettes. Who the fuck was in my house? My mind raced. Jehovah's Witnesses. They were smoking on the porch. Jehovah's Witnesses don't smoke. These ones did. He walked through the house, checking windows, looking behind furniture. In the bedroom, he opened the closet. My heart stopped. The shoebox was right there. He grabbed a jacket and closed the door. Then he went to my purse, dumped everything on the counter. Lipstick, tissues, Emily's crayons scattered across the granite. He found the money Carol gave me, $150 folded in my wallet's inner pocket. What's this? Your mom gave it to me, for groceries. His face went red. You're hiding money from me? I'm not hiding anything. He grabbed my wrist and slammed me against the wall. The picture frame next to my head rattled. Emily stood in the doorway, frozen. You think you're clever? His breath was hot on my face, stinking of whiskey. Squirreling away money? Planning to leave? No, Jake, I swear. Don't fucking lie to me. He raised his fist. Daddy, no, Emily screamed. He turned to her. She was sobbing, snot running down her face. For a second, something flickered in his eyes. Then it was gone. Go to your room. She didn't move. Go to your room. Emily ran. I heard her door slam. Jake turned back to me. That money is mine. Everything in this house is mine. You are mine. Understand? I nodded. He pocketed the cash. If I find out you're hiding anything else... He didn't finish. He didn't need to. We both knew how that sentence ended. Next door, I could hear Mrs. Martinez's TV through the wall. She'd definitely heard the yelling. The walls were paper thin. We'd heard her grandson's birthday party last week, but her TV just got louder. Nobody ever called. Nobody ever came. That's how it worked on this street. You minded your own business. Jake sat on the couch and turned on ESPN. Like nothing happened. I stood against the wall for another minute, waiting for my hands to stop shaking. Then I went to Emily's room. She was under her covers, only her eyes showing. Is Daddy still mad? I sat on her bed. Daddy's just tired from work. He's always tired. I know, baby. Are those bad men coming back? I smoothed her hair. No, everything's going to be okay. Another lie. Those men would definitely be back. And next time, they might not just talk. That night I waited until Jake started snoring. Then I retrieved the Nokia from behind the washer. My hands shook as I tried to figure out the camera. The screen was tiny. Everything was buttons. Finally found it. A grainy viewfinder opened. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror. My right eye was swelling shut from where Jake's elbow caught me when he shoved me. The bruise was already purple-black. I held the phone up and pressed the button. The flash was pathetic. The image on the screen looked like a shadow. Tried again. Still too dark. The bathroom light wasn't bright enough for this ancient camera. I crept to the hallway and flipped on the overhead light. Jake stirred on the couch. I froze. He rolled over and kept snoring. I took 3 more photos, each one blurry. You could maybe see something was wrong with my face if you squinted. Then I tried the voice recorder, found it after clicking through 5 menus, hit record, and held it near the living room where Jake was passed out. Testing, I whispered. Played it back. Could barely hear myself. This phone was useless. But it was all I had. The next morning, Jake woke up angry. Where's my fucking coffee? I was already brewing it. 2 minutes. Useless bitch. He said it casual, like commenting on weather. I hit record on the Nokia in my pocket. What did you say? I said you're a useless fucking bitch. Shut up or I'll... Emily walked in. He stopped. The recording probably caught nothing but fabric rustling. Wednesday, I told Jake I needed groceries. He gave me $40 and the car keys. 1 hour. Receipt better match. I drove to the library, ran inside. The computers were ancient. Windows XP. I logged into Gmail. My sister had sent 12 messages. Are you okay? Please respond. I'm driving down Friday. I clicked compose. Attached the 3 dark photos. Started typing an explanation, but the connection was so slow. That spinning wheel just kept going. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Finally, it uploaded 1 photo, then the second. The third wouldn't load. Error message. File too large. A librarian walked by. Everything okay? Fine. Just slow internet. Yeah, we still have dial-up. Budget cuts. Dial-up. In 2024, of course. 20 minutes later, I'd managed to send 2 photos and a short message. Jake getting worse. Those men came to house. Please help. I deleted the browsing history and drove to Kroger. Bought exactly $40 of groceries. Milk, bread, eggs, chicken. Got home with 3 minutes to spare. Thursday started with Jake punching the wall next to my head. His knuckles bled. You think I'm stupid? You went somewhere yesterday. Just the store. Here's the receipt. He studied it like evidence. The timestamp showed 2:47 p.m. I'd left at 2:15. Kroger was 10 minutes away. Took you long to buy 4 things. There was a line. He grabbed my throat. Not hard enough to leave marks. He'd learned that. If I find out you're lying... That night was bad. Real bad. Emily saw him shove me into the refrigerator. She stood there in her pajamas, holding her stuffed rabbit, just staring. Then she turned around and walked back to her room. Didn't cry, didn't scream, just walked away. That scared me more than anything. Friday afternoon. Jake was drunk again, fighting on the phone with someone about money. I could hear both sides from the kitchen. You got 6 days, Jake. I said I'll have it. Better. Or we take the house. He threw the phone at the wall. It shattered. Then he turned to me. The look in his eyes was pure rage. He grabbed my hair, pulled me to the ground. Emily was suddenly there, pulling on his shirt. Stop hurting, Mommy! He pushed her. She hit the wall and started screaming. Not crying. Screaming. That's when Mrs. Martinez finally called 911. I could hear her through the wall. There's a domestic disturbance next door. A child is screaming. Jake heard her too. He let go of my hair, sat on the couch, turned on the TV. Clean yourself up. 45 minutes later, 2 officers knocked. Jake answered, all smiles. Evening, officers. Everything okay? We got a call about a disturbance. Oh, that. Jake laughed. My daughter had a tantrum. You know how kids are. The tall officer looked past him at me. My eye was swollen shut now. Ma'am, you okay? Jake's hand went to my lower back. His fingers dug into my spine. I'm fine. You sure? That eye looks pretty bad. I fell. Tripped over my daughter's toys. The officers exchanged looks. The shorter one sighed. If you need help, there are resources. She said she's fine. Jake interrupted. My wife's pregnant. Hormonal, you understand. Emily peeked out from behind me. The tall officer knelt down. Hey, sweetie, you okay? She looked at Jake, then at me, then back at the officer, and nodded. They left. Gave me a card with a hotline number. Jake took it as soon as they drove away, ripped it up. Nice try. Mrs. Martinez's TV got louder through the wall. She was done trying. That night, I lay on the bathroom floor. My eye was swollen completely shut. Emily had locked herself in her closet and wouldn't come out. Jake watched TV like nothing happened. The debt collectors would be back in 6 days. I had no money, no phone Jake knew about, no car keys. The Nokia was useless for evidence. The police wouldn't help. But tomorrow was Saturday, Jake's poker night. He'd be gone from 8 until at least 2 in the morning, 6 hours. It wasn't much, but it was something. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Jake grabbed his keys. Poker night, don't wait up. He'd already lost $3,000 this week, but he was going back. Always going back. The door slammed. I watched his truck disappear down the street, then texted my sister from the Nokia. Now. Sarah had been parked 3 blocks away since 7:30. 6 hours she'd driven from Dallas. Straight through. No stops. I threw clothes into trash bags. Whatever fit. Emily's stuffed animals. Her medicine. The prenatal vitamins I'd hidden. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Kept dropping things. 10:28 p.m. Sarah's Honda pulled into the driveway. She left it running. Where's Emily? Sleeping. We ran to her room. She was curled up with her rabbit, thumb in her mouth. Hadn't sucked her thumb in a year until Jake started getting worse. Sarah picked her up. Emily stirred. Mommy? We're going on a trip, baby. Where's Daddy? He'll meet us later. We were at the car when headlights turned onto our street. Jake's truck. 3 hours early. Shit. Sarah shoved Emily into the car seat. I threw the bags in the trunk. Jake's truck screeched to a stop behind Sarah's car, blocking us in. He got out. His shirt was untucked, eyes bloodshot. Going somewhere? Jake. He grabbed my hair, yanked me backward. My scalp burned. Sarah laid on the horn. Long, continuous blasts. Let go of her, Sarah screamed. Porch lights flicked on. The Martinezes, the Johnsons, old Mr. Chen across the street. 5 houses. Nobody came outside. Jake dragged me toward the house. You think you can leave me? Sarah kept honking. Emily was screaming in the car. Jake kicked Sarah's door. The metal dented. Stop it, Jake! The neighbors. Fuck the neighbors! He kicked again. The side mirror snapped off. Sarah threw the car in reverse, tires squealing. Hit Jake's truck. Metal crunched. She backed up more, turned hard, drove over the Martinez's lawn. Jake let go of my hair to chase the car. I ran after Sarah. Jumped in while she was still moving. Jake pounded on the back window. Emily was sobbing so hard she was choking. Sarah floored it. We tore down the street. In the mirror, I saw Jake standing in the middle of the road, then running to his truck. He's following us, I said. Sarah ran a red light, then another, turned into a McDonald's, then out the back, into a neighborhood, out again. 20 minutes of random turns until we were sure he wasn't behind us. Emily threw up, all over herself, all over the car seat. It's okay, baby. It's okay. But she wouldn't stop crying, kept saying daddy over and over. The women's shelter was full. Of course it was, always full. The girl at the desk looked maybe 19. Try the Salvation Army, or there's a shelter in Fort Worth. Fort Worth was an hour away. Emily was covered in vomit. Sarah had a quarter tank of gas. We slept in the car that night. Walmart parking lot, Emily between us, still in her dirty clothes. I couldn't stop shaking. Every car that passed, I thought was Jake. Next morning, Sarah used her credit card for a Motel 6. $49 a night. The room smelled like smoke and something else. Mold, maybe. But it had a bed. A door that locked. Emily wet the bed that night. And the next. And the next. Kept asking for Daddy. When's Daddy coming? At 3 years old, she didn't understand. He was scary, but he was still Daddy. My phone, the one Jake had, starting blowing up. Sarah showed me her screen. 73 missed calls. From Jake's number. From numbers I didn't recognize. He was using other people's phones. The texts were worse. I'll find you. You can't hide. I know you're in Dallas. How did he know? Facebook. Sarah checked. Jake had posted, my wife kidnapped my daughter. If anyone sees them, please call. 60 comments. People offering prayers, saying they'd keep an eye out. His mom commenting that I needed psychiatric help. Then the private messages to Sarah started. Tell that bitch she's dead. I have friends in Dallas. That's my kid too. Sarah called legal aid. Free lawyers for domestic violence victims. The woman on the phone sounded tired. Do you have documentation? Police reports? Hospital records? I have photos. Some recordings. Bring everything, but I'll be honest. Without police reports, it's hard. Texas favors joint custody. Joint custody. With a man who just kicked our car. My morning sickness was brutal. Throwing up 5-6 times a day. No insurance meant no doctor. The emergency room would cost thousands. Sarah bought pregnancy vitamins at Dollar General. We'll figure it out, she kept saying. But I could see her credit card bills on the counter. She was already maxed. $600 in that crappy motel. Gas. Food. She was a teacher. Made $38,000 a year. Day 5. Jake found the motel. I don't know how. Maybe tracked Sarah's credit card. Maybe someone saw us. We were loading the car when his truck pulled in. Sarah grabbed Emily and ran back to the room. I stood frozen. Jake got out slowly, smiled. That smile that used to make me feel safe. "Found you," he said. Sarah pushed me into the room and slammed the door, called 911. "My brother-in-law is violating a restraining order." We didn't have a restraining order. Not yet. The cops took 30 minutes. Jake waited in his truck the whole time. When they arrived, he was calm. Showed them his ID. "Officers, I'm just trying to see my daughter. Her mother kidnapped her." "Sir, is there a custody agreement?" "We're working on that. But she's my kid too." They made him leave. That's it. No arrest, no report. Just, "Sir, please leave the premises." We moved that night. Sarah's friend from college had a spare room in Arlington, 40 minutes from Dallas, maybe far enough. Monday morning, legal aid finally saw us. The lawyer looked about 12, fresh out of law school. "Without police reports documenting abuse, this is difficult. I have photos. Some recordings." She looked at the blurry Nokia pictures, listened to the muffled audio where you could barely hear Jake threatening me. "These help, but they're not enough. We can file for a temporary restraining order. It'll last 2 weeks. Then there's a hearing. 2 weeks later, the courthouse." Jake showed up with a real lawyer, gray suit, leather briefcase. His mom paid for it. Jake's lawyer spoke first. "My client is a hardworking man whose wife disappeared with his child. She has no job, no permanent residence. She's currently couch surfing with their 3-year-old daughter." My legal aid lawyer stood up. Her voice shook. "My client fled domestic violence. She has photos, blurry photos that could be anything, and these supposed recordings are inaudible." The judge looked tired, like he'd heard this same story 100 times today. "Without clear evidence of abuse, I'm granting joint custody with supervised visitation. The father gets 2 hours every Saturday at the Family Services Center." My lawyer touched my arm. "It's better than unsupervised. Better." Jake would see Emily every week, the man who shoved her into a wall. The first Saturday, I dropped Emily at the center. She clung to my leg. "I don't want to see Daddy." "It's just 2 hours, baby." The social worker had to pry her off me. I sat in the parking lot for 2 hours. When I picked her up, she was silent, didn't speak for 3 days. Then the nightmares started. Then the bedwetting got worse. Every Saturday, same routine, drop off. Emily screaming, pick up. Emily silent. 3 days of aftermath. "We'll revisit custody in 3 months, the judge had said. 3 months. Sarah's friend needed her room back. Section 8 housing had a 6-month wait list. Homeless shelters were full or didn't take children. Sarah found another friend in Fort Worth. Her garage had been converted to a studio. No heat, no kitchen, but it was free. I got a job at Walmart. $11 an hour, 25 hours a week because they didn't want to pay benefits. $275 a week before taxes. After taxes, about $220. Sarah helped with paperwork for food stamps. $287 a month for food. WIC covered some milk and cereal for Emily. The pregnancy got harder. No insurance meant no prenatal care. The free clinic had a 2-month wait. I took vitamins from Dollar Tree and hoped. Jake started showing up at Walmart, never buying anything, just walking past my register, smiling. The manager said they couldn't ban him unless he did something. He's stalking me. Is there a restraining order? The temporary one had expired. The permanent one was still in court, May 15th. Labor started at the Walmart register. My water broke while scanning someone's groceries. Sarah drove me to the emergency room. 6 hours of labor. The baby was small, 6 pounds, 3 ounces. The stress, the doctor said. The lack of prenatal care. I named him Thomas. Jake found out somehow. Filed for joint custody before I even left the hospital. He can't do that, I told my lawyer. He can. He's the biological father. He never paid a cent of support for Emily. That's a separate issue. Everything was always a separate issue. We moved again. Sarah was broke from helping us. Her credit cards maxed. Her friends tired of us crashing. Found a room in someone's house. A divorced mom who understood. $400 a month. I worked nights at Walmart so I wouldn't need daycare. Emily started therapy through Medicaid. 6-month waiting list, then 20 minutes every 2 weeks. The therapist was overwhelmed. 40 kids on her caseload. She has PTSD, the therapist said. This will take time. Time we didn't have. Money we didn't have. Safety we didn't have. Jake got a girlfriend, posted photos on Facebook. Starting fresh with someone who appreciates me, mutual friends told me, showed me pictures. She looked young, maybe 20. Holding Emily in one photo from a supervised visit, 10 months now, still not divorced. Jake's lawyer kept filing motions. Delays, requests for more documentation. Each court date cost me a day of work, lost wages. The legal aid lawyer was trying, but she had 60 other cases. Sometimes Emily still asks, is Daddy still mad at me? Daddy was never mad at you, baby. Then why did he hurt us? I don't have an answer. Don't know if I ever will. Last week, a white Camry parked across from our house. Sat there for an hour. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was Tony's guys. Jake still owed them money. We'd moved twice, but people talk. Fort Worth isn't that big. I check the locks 3 times before bed. Keep a baseball bat by the door. Emily sleeps in my bed most nights. Thomas in a bassinet beside us. Jake's next custody hearing is in 2 months. His lawyer's requesting unsupervised visits. Overnight stays. My lawyer says without new evidence of abuse, he'll probably get it. I'm recording everything now. Saving every text, every voicemail. Building a case for the next hearing. And the one after that. And after that. Because this isn't over. Not even close. But tonight my kids are safe. They're fed. They're with me. Tomorrow we'll wake up and do it again. One day at a time. That's all we can do. That's all we've ever been able to do.